is. I was like, this is weird. Like, they're really going out of their mind. But I think that was Verhoeven's spin on it there. But of course, he goes straight up to this Leon character, and Leon tries to hit him, and tries to hit him in the groin. He's like, fuck. And then I love the scene where he just drags him out by his hair. And that's how he's literally going to drag him out. And everybody else, Matt, they're carrying on dancing. I don't know if you noticed that. I mean, everybody is fine with that. They don't give a stuff about Leon. I don't know if he had any friends there. Seems like he didn't, because nobody seemed to care too much. They were just laughing at the whole thing. So that was kind of a funny thing, where these guys are hanging out in their spare time. That's the other thing that crossed my mind when I watched this back recently, Matt. I thought, what is a guy like Leon doing in this place? It did, it was a real weird thing. I was like, why is he here? It didn't suit him. I didn't think to be just sort of the guy dancing around. I thought we were going to see. I think it should have been the other guy, the guy with the crazy laugh, like Chris Rock. I thought it was going to be him in this scene. Joey, I think his name is. I thought that was going to be him. But yeah, we get Leon instead. And of course, from there, Matt, we go to this sort of, I guess, drug plantation place where we're getting to sort of meet, again, more characters. And I've got to say, Matt, this film is not shy from, the encouragement of using so many different characters. Because, at this sort of time, Matt, when these films were coming out, a lot of films tried to steer away from that. They tried to just keep it as once you've introduced as many characters, don't do as try not to introduce them throughout the whole film. But this character really encourages it, Matt, because we get, I know he's a small part in it, but in terms of who he is and what he's supposed to be in Old Detroit, we get another character called Sal, I think his name is, whose plantation this is, and it's kind of like a bit of a measuring of who's kind of running Old Detroit. Is it him or is it Clarence? And there's a bit of friction going on between these two. And I love that shot where he's the guns come out at each other, but the guy Sal, he kind of realizes, hang on a minute, I might be out of my depth, and it's just like, just get in. The way he plays that's really good. But I like that on screen kind of thing, because I think it shows how Clarence is dealing with things, how he kind of is using fear as a tactic, how people know that he's got an umbrella corporation almost looking after him. So he's the guy running it. Now this scene, Matt, this drug bust scene, this is, I know that Weller went on record in an interview, Matt, I don't know if you've read this, but he's been on record as saying this is one of his favourite scenes, if not his favourite scenes, in his entire film history, doing this scene. And when they were shooting this, he was listening to Peter Gabriel on a Walkman inside the helmet, and doing all those movements. There was a track, I don't know what it was, it might have been called Red something, but basically all the beats apparently went well with the way he was going to do the movement. But this is probably one of my most favourite scenes as far as Robocop in action. I just love the way he uses the gun, the way he's kind of coordinated everything before it's all going to happen. But to set the stage, Matt, of course, Robocop, first of all, he comes through this big-ass door, just bulges that down. And I think, he says something like, "Come quietly or there will be trouble." And then, you get the guy who's standing up on the steps like, "Oh, fuck you." And then it all just kicks off. But, what did you make of this scene, man? Is this as good to you as it is to me on this scene?
Yeah, I think it's really good. It also gives you a sense of what he can do and the punishment he can withstand. Mm-hmm. Especially when he comes in there and he's scanned them all out already.
Yeah, I like that.
And yeah, it's totally like they don't stand a chance. It'll be one shot after the other, which of course it does end up being. And I do like those movements. It's very cool, isn't it? He's definitely got a unique kind of style to it. And I love that underarm shot he does as well. Yeah, he's not even looking.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so well done. I'm not sure up until this point. I'm trying to think back. As you're saying that, I'm trying to think of the Terminator film where, they used, his vision at times, many a times, but I'm not sure they've done the whole coordinated thing. I know they've done the thing with the clothes and the jacket and all the rest of it, like sizing up, but the actual to keep to know where to shoot, so you can just do the underhand shot and not even have to look up there because it's already kind of gridded in almost. I just loved all that. I think it was really, really well done. I think Weller done an excellent job here of mastering that. I mean, I can see why he would have enjoyed that, because if it must have felt pretty powerful. I think going through that with those movements and the way he'd done it, but it's really well done. And of course, in this part, Matt, he pretty much takes out literally the entire factory people that were there, and he finally gets his hands literally around Clarence Boddicker and throws him through quite a lot of they sort of go OCD on the whole glass through glass type stuff here. But that shot, Matt, of Clarence, I used to think, even when I was young, I was like, whoa, he is a mess. The way they do the blood there, it's really good. And of course he ends up, Matt, admitting who he's working for, and of course it's all been recorded that it's Dick Jones. Dick Jones owns OCP. OCP own the police, etc., etc. And that's just sunk in that, okay, you're not the guy pulling the strings that I need to get to. I've got to get to someone else even past you. What did you make of that? The way that went down, Matt, and the way he just took Clarence apart in that scene.
Yeah, I do really love this scene. Like you said, that blood effect, it's really good. It's really realistic, I find. And after every glass scene, there's a little bit more damage to his face. Yeah. And it just that definitely left an impact on me. But yeah, I like the way that also you get to see like the guy he's been after. He's finally got him, and he's squirming a bit. He's not as tough as what you might have assumed. I mean, he's definitely like evil when he's actually in control. But like coming up against someone a little bit bigger, it's not so good. But I like the sort of ending of the scene as well, when he's on there and he says, "You're a cop," and then he Directive 3 flashes up. Definitely makes me wonder how far this would have gone if he wasn't like restricted by programming. Yeah,
I think that's what it was trying to show. He's kind of human element, and then the robotic side, he sort of always is going to overtake him at the last hurdle, because these set rules in place. But of course we see him go into the precinct with Clarence Boddicker, and just chucks him. I think that was one of my things. Even when I used to watch it back, I was kind of always puzzled by Matt, and that was the fact that he did just sling him in there. That there wasn't the whole I don't know. Maybe it was just the viewer expects more, but maybe it's because it's Robocop and it's not Murphy. You're not going to get the total revenge. Like I was just thinking, like he's going to keep him there. He's going to do more to him there. But he just throws him in, and they keep him at the desk, and he's like, book him. And he's like, what's the charge? He's a cop killer. And you get that Lewis shot. And I think it was from her expression. I think that's what they needed to do in this scene. If there's one small little itch I have on this, is the fact that Lewis didn't look like, hang on a minute, you're fucking Clarence Boddicker. Like, I know she recognised him, but I was expecting more emotion from her at that point, like after what she'd seen him do to her partner, and pretty much to her as well, that there was going to be more from her, and I just didn't get that feeling. And watching them back, I think that's maybe something that was missed out there, that was maybe needed. Am I overthinking things there, Matt? I probably am. But
your take I think you're right. Actually, I mean, I hadn't actually thought about that too much, but you're definitely right there. But then, yet again, Boddicker steals the scene as well when he just spits out blood. He's like, just give him that fucking phone call.
Yeah, I love that scene. Yeah, he seems like, I mean, there's so many good lines in this film. I said this at the beginning. I feel like the writing on this is excellent. It's second to none, and the lines, they're not just cheesy, corny one-liners like we've seen in other films. These are more smart. They're more based around. They're for the character. They're not just lines that anyone would say. And I feel like he kind of really delivers them well. Now, the next shot we get this. Of course, we get the iconic OCP building. Just a word about that, by the way. That is an actual real building, because people online I know had asked, is that a real place? I've seen one of my friends actually went to that building and had a photo taken outside it, because there was a bit of a Robocop fan, and they had that shot where you see Ed 209 and all the rest of it at the finale scene. And so, yeah, that is a real place. I mean, I don't know what they actually do there. I don't know what the corporate place is that they, the company that have it, but I'm sure they have many tourists now because of this film, Matt. But yes, it's kind of an iconic bit in it because of the shape and the way it's made. It looks very futuristic, but yeah, it's actually a real building itself. But Matt, we get this scene where obviously Dick Jones just got off the phone to Clarence, like, you're really screwed up, and he pulls out the tracker, which I now guess he's got hold of since Bob Morton is now dead. And you get this scene where Robocop again. They use that brilliant scene that I liked earlier on where they're using the lift up on the OCP building. I think it's a really good shot when you see Robocop, and the music as well, the score music. We haven't spoken about the music, Matt, but I think we should, because it's kind of it's a big thing to this film. The music in this film, Matt, the score that they use, I think it's really spot on. I've got to say, when I was younger, I didn't really, I can't remember enjoying the music. But as I've got older and I hear that tune, it just sends, I get real sort of sends shivers through me, because I know it's Robocop. Like, that is the song. It's quite, you know who it is straight away. It's a very easy kind of score to go with. But the music in general with this film, I think is really good. And when I was listening back to the commentary, it was very interesting that how they used the music. I don't know if you heard it, Matt, but where they said that they tried to use all the instrumental kind of stuff when he was showing his human side, and when they had his more robotic side, they would kind of make it more where you had these extra beats in it all the time, and it was kind of like a steel on steel type stuff. But yeah, I liked the way. I guess you being the fanboy, you probably got the music itself, Matt.
Yeah, like you said, everything there you said spot on, correct. It's like amazing music there, and just very iconic and very synonymous with him. And I don't think they could have come up with anything better than that, because it's just so good. As soon as he steps out of a car, or like you said, his human side, it's all soft, and especially when you see glimpses of him remembering things and slowly his humanity coming back. There's always a note or two that gets hit. Yeah,
I like it. So I think the music here that they use for this film is very, very good. Moving back to the scene we get where at this point we're going to get Robocop, who's going to go in for the arrest of Dick Jones. But of course, this is where Directive 4 springs up, Matt. And I guess for those that were watching the first time round and would have noticed that little clue when he was in the chair at the very beginning, and it sort of came up sort of on its own, like, oh, what's that for? Classified. This is what it was. It was put in there that you cannot arrest an executive OCP employer, that's in there. Now I'm guessing, Matt, Dick Jones is saying it's him, but I mean, that would have just been an OCP thing, right? I mean, I don't think that's just Dick Jones. I think that's just like the company would have put that in. Is that the way am I right in thinking that, or was this a Dick Jones move that he's put in there somehow?
I think his line is that's my personal contribution.
Oh, okay. So I guess
so
it was.
I think it is his design there.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure where that was coming from, but I mean, either way, I would have seen why they would have done that. I mean, I could have even seen why Bob Morton would have done that to a degree, considering his use of cocaine earlier in the film and stuff like that. But you can just imagine Robocop knocking on that door instead of Clarence, can't you? And it'd be the same sort of problem, really, wouldn't it, for him? No, you can't do this to me. I'll pay you double. Whatever. Could have been a nightmare, couldn't it? I get that. Now I like this part, Matt, because again, going back to the body language. This is so well done. It shows that kind of like he can't do it, and he's almost showing his pain at this point. And I like the fact where Dick Jones just sits on the end of his desk and he's like, "Still a little fight left, huh?" And he's really enjoying this because he knows that he cannot go anywhere near him. And then his gun drops out of his hand. But I love that shot there, Matt. I mean, that's just so well done, isn't it?
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like. They underestimated his human side, because they say this is supposed to result in automatic shutdown.
Yeah.
It's definitely anything but automatic.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you, because only after watching this the very last time, just for this podcast, I was going to say, when he says that, and he says it results in shutdown, and he looks like Dick Jones is like at some points when the fight's going on, which we'll get to in a second, but when the fight's going on, he looks kind of nervous because it's not ending. Was that a part where